Check it out. Check it out.
Man,
check it out.
I think the veterans that we added is very important, obviously. I had guys who won championships, Jeff Green, Fred VanVleet, Dillon Brooks, even Aaron Holiday, guys that have been in the league for a while. That's always an added benefit. You know, coaching-wise, we'll come in and do some things differently as well. But I've talked about it from day one that internal growth is going to be the biggest step for us. So the guys that have been here and gone through the rough times, we need to see growth and improvement from them. Whether you say it's a culture shift or change of environment and some of those things, I think it's a little bit of all those three things I just mentioned. And it starts with me holding guys accountable and coaching them a certain way, which I'll do a little bit differently than has been done in the past, but the additions of the veterans and the growth with our young guys is going to really help us take the next step. I want people to look at us and look visually different than we have in the past, and that's from an effort standpoint, but unselfishness on the offensive end, actively playing defense together as a group and individually, so I think we do have the defenders, and that side of the ball is easier to get up to speed, and then you learn each other offensively, especially with the new guys we've added and the style we want to play, so I think well-rounded in general is always the goal for us, and whether a guy can score or shoot or pass, we want guys to be all around in general, all of our players, and so that's the goal for us, to improve guys' weaknesses and use their strengths. And so the defensive side of the ball, I think we have the players to be really good on that end initially, and then offensively getting up to speed with each other will be the goal.
Alperin said, not this season, maybe next, one day this team is going to be the best in the league.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact. We got a lot of young talent, a lot of guys that's wanting to be a great team. We all got the mentality to do it. So, yeah, it's going to happen sooner than later.
This team for sure has underwent some drastic changes in just a short amount of time. First, Daryl Morey steps down. Then in the same season, James Harden gets traded away to Brooklyn. They managed to get 8 future first-round picks out of that deal. And speaking of a future first-round pick, later that same year, they end up drafting Jalen Green and Alperen Sengun. The following year, they end up taking Sud Jabari Smith, and the Rockets' struggles continue as they part ways with Stephen Silas and later hire Ime Udoka that same month. And this time around the NBA draft, they draft Cam Whitmore and Amen Thompson. And then they just signed NBA vet and NBA champ Fred VanVleet to a 3-year and $130 million deal. Now that's a lot of money for Fred, perhaps too much for my liking, but it's funny because at the same time, I believe he's actually the perfect player for Houston, as I believe they'll help them play winning basketball and get their offense a lot more stabilized. The Rockets were tied for second to worst record last season, finishing with a 22-60 record, and finished with the 14th seed in the Western Conference. And I believe that adding Fred's leadership with rooks such as Cam Whitmore and Amen Thompson, that will help turn around the Rockets' defense last season, as their defense was atrocious. They gave up 118.6 points per game against other teams, and to also help fortify their defensive arsenal, they also added the likes of Dillon Brooks, which should help solidify their roster of dogs. Dillon averaged 14.3 points to go along with 3.3 rebounds and 2 threes a game. I'm not quite sure why the world was ready to write him off, as I still believe he's one of the better defenders of the league and is a lot better than people are giving him credit for. He's coming off a great summer, taking home the gold against the USA, and is in prime position to take a leap forward as he initiates himself as one of the Rockets' leaders. Rockets inked him for 4 years, $86 million, which is around $21 million a year, which is a lovely contract for both this 27-year-old vet and the Rockets organization. They also bring in some other vets such as NBA champion and NBA vet Jeff Green, as well as Aaron Holiday to help secure their point guard rotation. Also bringing in Jock Landale and familiar face Boban Marjanovic. And although I still don't think they'll be a top team in the West, I wouldn't be too surprised if they manage to sneak up into the play-in contention, especially if Cam Whitmore and Amen Thompson comes out the gate showing stardom. So for the Rockets, I'll have to give them a solid B. I think they managed to add 2 solid vets with a lot of experience that can help shift and push the culture. And then when you add the fact that they signed Ime Udoka and then added other complementary pieces to this young team, I think they're in a prime position to turn a couple heads and prove some people wrong. So what do you guys think about the Rockets move, the signings of Brooks and VanVleet, and how far do you guys think they're going to go? And I'm going to catch you guys in the next one. Peace.